Today we continue to listen the liberation of the two chief disciples of the Buddha, Venerable Sariputra and Venerable Mahamoggallana. When the Buddha dwelt in Rajagha city, Upatissa and Kolita, accompanied by 250 attendants, came to the Buddha. Listening to the Buddha's teaching, the 250 followers became arahant. They became fully enlightened. But the would-be Sariputra and Moggallana was still Sotapanna, stream enterers without any higher attainment. They are extraordinary persons, so they are required to fulfill more parami on extraordinarily grand scale. And then Buddha ordained them as bhikkhus. Buddha addressed them, Ehi bhikkhu, eta bhikkhavo, bhikkhus, come here. And they became bhikkhu. Upadisa, the would-be Sariputra had to take 15 days from the first waxing day of February to its full moon day to attain full enlightenment, to become arahant. Venerable Moggallana had to take 7 days to be fully enlightened. Probably it was the last day of the day 7th that he had been practicing meditation very intensively in a jungle near Kanlawalapota village in Magadha Kingdom. He spent the entire week practicing strenuously, walking meditation. Then he felt exhausted and drowsy. Sleepiness or drowsiness is quite common for every meditators if you practice persistently without resting. Many energetic yogi in the retreat, in the intensive retreat like this, these energetic yogis practicing walking meditation back and forth without resting, some felt really exalted when it was very late. So with intention to relax just for a while, some sat in one place somewhere. As soon as they sat, they fell asleep right away. They did not even know when they fell asleep. Yes, very true. If our body is totally tired, it cannot be controlled. Venerable Mahamoggallana practiced for 7 days, walking back and forth. However, occasionally he would sit for a while, but most of the time, Venerable Moggallana practiced walking back and forth. Being exalted, he became sleepy and drowsy. And the Buddha, dwelling in a forest known as Pesakala Sanctuary, Susumaragiri city, Bega province, India, and Buddha saw through his Deva eyes, Venerable Moggallana nodding. Most probably, the Buddha frequently kept an eye on his meditators practicing under his guidance. Following in the Buddha's footsteps, all the meditation teachers should keep an eye on their practicing yogi as much as possible. Of course, meditation teachers have to do so with their naked eyes because we have no Deva Jagu, we have no Deva eyes. Only we have just naked eyes. Like we have no Deva eyes like the Buddha. Now the Buddha is exercising his psychic power, Adivida, appeared in the presence of Venerable Moggallana as fast as one folds his arm and stretch it out within a second. It is by means of psychic power that Buddha just took a moment to be there some 200 miles far from where he dwelt. Then Buddha sat on the seat that had been intentionally arranged for him in case he came. Then Buddha asked Moggallana, Pasalayasino to Moggallana, Pasalayasino to Moggallana. Buddha asked, Moggallana, are you drowsy? Moggallana, are you drowsy? Evam Bande, yes, Venerable Sir, I'm drowsy. Venerable Moggallana replied. Then Buddha taught him 7 methods of dealing with drowsiness. A meditation teacher should teach them to his meditators on top of his own experience. These are possible to practice. Yogis will definitely find them very useful during their retreat. So 7 methods dealing with drowsiness. You have liberation paper. Look at your paper. Page number 2, number 9. Seven methods of dealing drowsiness. Buddha expounded to Venerable Moggallana. There are 7 methods given by the Buddha to overcome drowsiness. So can you follow me? Page number 2, number 9. There are 7 methods given by the Buddha to overcome drowsiness, changing the object, pondering discourses, reciting Dhamma, pulling the ears, watching the face, contemplating on light, and walking back and forth. These are the 7 methods given by the Buddha to overcome drowsiness. So 7 methods, we have to go one by one. The first method is changing the object. And Buddha said to Ma Moggallana Tasmatiyate Moggallana Yatha Sinyitasa Viharato Dhammaitan Aukamati Tan Sinyama Manasakasi Tan Sinyama Bhulamakasi. Buddha said, Moggallana, why contemplating in particular way? If drowsiness overcome you, you don't contemplate that way. It is the first method. There are conditions for drowsiness to arise. What are the conditions for drowsiness? When you contemplate in a certain way, you will feel tired and sleepy. So Buddha said, don't contemplate that way. During an intensive retreat like this, when you get exalted, you may feel discouraged by contemplating, or practice is so hard, how strenuous the practice is. I've been practicing for long. I could not achieve my goal yet. So these are the discouraging signals. Such contemplation here is called sinya that would discourage you from putting further effort in your practice. Then sleepiness will overcome you indeed. Alternatively, if you contemplate on an easy object, say a single touching point somewhere in your body, then it will be too easy for you to be active. This kinds of contemplation, this kinds of sinya has something to do with your practice. That is bhavana sinya. But the contemplation mentioned earlier does not either one can lead to drowsiness meta. The twofold meta does not necessarily mean kilesa, mental defilements, but sometimes torpor is just bodily fatigue. So if you observe a single object, it will become too easy for you to be active. Then drowsiness or torpor meta is likely to overcome you. So stop contemplating a single object for long, or avoid contemplating your practice in a discouraging manner. Both are called sinya in this place. So here Buddha instructed Venerable Moggallana not to contemplate the physical fatigue in such a light manner, or not to observe a single object, in such a relaxed manner that you would feel inactive and so sleepy. So further effort need to be made by contemplating more objects or by contemplating skillfully. For instance, if you initially note 2 objects, you should note 4 objects, 5 objects, or 6 objects. Suppose you note only 2 objects, rising and falling of the abdomen. Rising is 1 object and falling is another object, 2 objects you take note. Then you should now add 2 more objects to that rising and falling. So you note rising, falling, sitting, touching. If needed, you may add 3 objects, 4 objects, 5 objects, or 6 touching points to the rising and falling of the abdomen. So your mind will become active and energetic, and subsequently your drowsiness will reduce to a remarkable extent. So Buddha said to Maukulana, Tanangkopanita Maukulana Vijati Yante Evo Viharato Dhammedam Piyeta. Maukulana, practicing in this way, there is possibility for you to overcome drowsiness. So you have to change the way to contemplate, or you have to change the way, the object to observe. When you get physical fatigue, you would not consider it is a good reason to recline. It is a good reason to relax. And on the other hand, you should not observe a single and easy object at all time. If you increase the number of objects to observe, then you will most probably overcome the drowsiness. And then second method, Buddha said, no chete mokulana evam viharato dhammedam piyeta tatoton yatha sutam yatha priyatam dhamma manasa anuvattakeyasi anuvicharayasi manasa anupikeyasi. If you not overcome your drowsiness in such a way, you should ponder its mean and mentally inspect the Dharma as you have heard it and learn it. By such means, it is possible that your drowsiness will be abandoned. Buddha said, if Venerable Moggallana could not overcome the drowsiness by changing his way of contemplation, Buddha advised him to ponder the Dharma discourses he has ever learned. Then it has been just 7 days since Moggallana ordained under the guidance of the Buddha. Within those 7 days, the summon was delivered by Buddha would have taught him many Dhamma discourses earlier. Many people during the time of the Buddha, it is said, got a chance to learn many discourses within a limited time because Buddha spoke very rapidly, Buddha spoke very clearly, Buddha spoke very articulately. Of course, it is so amazing. Starting from the day first met the Buddha, starting from the day he first met the Buddha, Venerable Moggallana would have learned a lot of Dhamma discourses from the Buddha. That is why Buddha encouraged him to recall and reflect on those Dhamma discourses. So that is the second method of overcoming drowsiness. The first method is to change the way of contemplating, and the second method is to reflect on the Dhamma discourses, to ponder the Dhamma. Then third method, no chete evo viharato tamedam piyeta tatoto moglana yata sutam yata priyatam dhamma vaitarina sijayam kriyasi tankopanedam vijati yante evo viharato tamedam piyeta. Buddha said, Moggallana, if you cannot abandon your drowsiness in such a way, you should recite in detail the Dhamma as you have heard it and learned it. By such means, it is possible that your drowsiness will be abandoned. This method is good to use only when there is no other meditators around you, but it would be inconsiderate of you if you do chanting verbally when some other meditators around you they have been practicing seriously and strenuously. If you really want to do that, you have to go somewhere far enough to disturb no yogis. Here in this meditation center, there is regulation not to do chanting individually. Even to pay homage to the Buddha, meditators are advised to do so only mentally. If you do chanting aloud, you would disturb your fellow meditators around. As for Venerable Moggallana, the vowel chanting should not be problem at all. No matter however aloud he might have chanted, because there was nobody around in the forest, but it is no good to do so if there is any of your fellow meditators around. Like this, it is not suitable to chant aloud. So in this regard, it is good to learn how Venerable Anuruddha, Venerable Kimila, and Venerable Nandiya cared about each other's concentration. It is said that when one of them needed others people help, one person would not speak to the other in words, but only in sign. For example, one person needed a helping hand to lift a pot filled up with water that was too heavy. Then that person would go and stand right in front of the other person without saying anything verbally. He would keep standing there, and the other would see him because they practice with closed eyes. When the other person looked up, one would wave his hand to let the other know he needed help. Or rival where help was needed, one would hold the pot by one side, then the other would hold the pot by the other. It is easy to know what to do in view of physical gesture. It is not necessary to speak. If one person spoke verbally, one would disturb the concentration of the two other fellows. So they managed to do things silently without speaking, following in their footsteps. Meditators here should not speak, chant or pray verbally. So intensive retreat like this, very silent, noble silence is needed. Every time yogi behave, they do very mindfully and silently with a group chanting, metta chanting, taking precepts. You can chant louder. During metta chanting, you can chant wholeheartedly, energetically. During practicing metta bhavana, you can be aware of your radiating mind. You can focus your sound wave disappearing. And at the same time, you can contemplate on your reciting bodily behavior. So when you do metta chanting, you can apply vipassana meditation together with samatha meditation. The kinds of samatha and vipassana in pairs practicing is called Yogananda method. Contemplating samatha meditation and vipassana meditation in pairs is called Yogananda. So during metta chanting, you can practice samatha meditation not only in your mind, but also you can do verbally in group, but individually you can do silently. Then vipassana. So that kinds of samatha and vipassana meditation can be applied in this case. So Yogananda method, can you follow me? Contemplating samatha meditation and vipassana meditation in pairs is called Yogananda. Contemplating samatha meditation and vipassana meditation in pairs is called Yuganada. So that Yuganada method, Samatha meditation, chanting Buddha Nosati, Metta Bhavana, etc. But you need to be aware of these phenomena at the same time, so you can combine Samatha and meditation together. And method number 4, Buddha said, if you cannot overcome your drowsiness in such a way, you should pull your earlobes and rub your limbs with your hands. By such means, it is possible that your drowsiness will be overcome. So the fourth method of overcoming is to pull your earlobes and rub your limbs, chest and back, and stretch out, sway, turn and twist your body as required. So during the practice of meditation, sitting meditation, also our body bending. So frequently you need to be straight up, keep your body straight, keep your body straight. So mindfully stretching, turning, twisting, etc. Mindfully you need to do. So these are what to do. So you have to make some changes to your bodily position. That is the number 4th method, and number 5th method is no chete evam viharato tamedam piyeta. Tatoto moklana uttayasana udgena akini anumijitva disa anu vilokayasi. Nakatani taraka rupani onlokayasi. Tanankopanita vijati yante evam viharato tamedam piyeta. Buddha said to Moggallana, if you cannot overcome your drowsiness in such a way, you should get up from your seat, rub your eyes with water, survey all the quarters, and look up at the constellation and stars. By such means, it is possible that your drowsiness will be overcome. So according to this method, Buddha advised Venerable Moggallana to rub his eyes with water, fresh water, the eyes and face, and survey all the direction, eastern direction, western direction, southern and northern, and look up and look around the moon, stars, planets, and constellation, so that he can overcome the drowsiness. So there is a 5th method. A 6th method is no chete evam viharato tamedam piyeta tatoto moggallana aloka sinyam mandasi kareyasi diva sinyam aditayasi yata diva tatarate tata diva. Moggallana, if you cannot overcome your drowsiness in such a way, you should pay attention to the perceptions of life, alokasanya. You should establish the perception of day in such a way that It would be as by day, so at night, as at night, so by day. Thus, with the mind that is open and uncovered, you should develop a mind imbued with luminosity. By such means, it is possible that your drowsiness will be overcome. So Buddha advised Moggallana to contemplate on light, alokasinya manasikrohi. If the drowsiness is still not overcome, according to Buddha advice, if it is at night, you should contemplate the daylight. If there is moonlight or candlelight, you may contemplate on that too. Look the light either with your naked eyes or with your mind's eyes, so that you can feel luminous as if it were daytime. Yatadiwa tataratain. Alternatively, if possible, you should practice vipassana meditation up to the fourth stage of insight knowledge. You should try to reach Udiyabhyanyana, knowledge of rise and fall, that would make you feel luminous. Because if meditators reach the fourth stage, Udiyabhyanyana, they start to see the arising and disappearing of the natural phenomena as they really are, and the light they see. The kinds of light make them feel luminous. And if you have attained jhana by means of your meditation on alokakasina, meditation on light, alokakasina, then you should develop luminous states by refreshing that meditation. In the light, you will feel fresh and you overcome drowsiness. This is a number 6 method, and number 7 method. Buddha said, No chete evam viharato dhammaitam bhiyeta tatoto moggallana. Picha pure sinyi singama aditthayasi andogadehi indriyehi abhikatena manasina. Thanang kopanitam gijati yante evam viharato dhammaitam bhiyeta. Buddha said, Moggallana, if you cannot overcome your drowsiness in such a way, you should focus on walking meditation with preceding and succeeding perception, with the senses kept inward, with the mind kept undistracted. By such means, it is possible that your drowsiness will be overcome. If you cannot overcome the drowsiness in such a way, all you can do now is to get up, to walk back and forth with preceding and succeeding perception, Picha Puri Sinyi. It means you have to perceive a step all the way from the moment of lifting the foot to the moment of dropping it down. That is what is meant by preceding and succeeding perception. Picha Puri Sinyi. When taking the right step, for example, the right foot is lifted up from the heel and pushed progressively to the front. In the same way, when taking the left step, the left foot is lifted from the heel and pushed progressively to the front. You have to perceive each step all the way from the preceding moment of lifting up from the heel to the succeeding moment of pushing progressively to the front. So there is a meaning of preceding and succeeding perception, Picha Pure Sinyi. Actually, it is the way any yogi is supposed to practice walking meditation, whether you encounter drowsiness or not. You have to be mindful continuously so that you will not fail to perceive preceding and succeeding phenomena. Picha Pure Sinyi. Sinya. The term the Buddha used here means perception, which in this context refers to either insight knowledge, pinya, or mindfulness, sati. So, andogadehi, indriyehi, with the senses kept in what? In this phrase, senses, indriya, refers to the five sense door, eye sensitivity, ear sensitivity, nose sensitivity, tongue sensitivity, and body sensitivity. Indriyehi. By this phrase, meditators are advised not to let your eyes look here and there, andogdehi, and not to pay attention to the sound wave, although you may happen to hear. So your eyes not going here and there, and you do not wish to hear this and that. You keep your mind in the ear. You do not pay attention to the sound, although you may happen to hear. Objects may not impinge your nose and tongues as frequently as you are on your eyes and ear and body. So eyes and ears are more important than other senses. Antokdehi indriyehi, with the sense kept in what and with the mind kept undistracted. Abhikatena manasa. By these phrases, meditators are advised to keep your mind in what? To keep your mind inside your body. When you walk, your mind is on your feet during walking. Your mind not go here and there. Your mind is on the feet. You have to be mindful of right, left, right, left, right. You have to be mindful of lifting when lifting. You have to be mindful of moving when moving. You have to be mindful of dropping When dropping, you have to be mindful of swaying when swaying. You may become aware of phenomena in terms of stiffness, tension, movement, etc. inside your body. Your mind kept undistracted. Abhikatena manasa. And Satipatthana Sutta, Gichantowa Gichamiti Pajanati, when going, meditators knows I am going. According to this passage, meditators are supposed to be aware of going when you are going. If you are thus mindful of every bodily actions you do, you will become aware of tension and movement involved, which represent the air elements Vayodhatu. You can also be aware of tension and tightness in any parts of your body, like feet, tight waist, hand, or whatever parts your mind is focused on. In addition, you will become aware of such physical characteristics as movement, pulling, pushing, and so on. And Picha Pure Sinyi, preceding and succeeding perception. You have to practice walking meditation by perceiving, by being aware of each step all the way from the moment of lifting up to the pushing progressively to the front and dropping it down. So you should not take any break between the preceding perception and succeeding perception, between the preceding awareness and succeeding awareness. So these are the 7 methods of overcoming drowsiness. We have to recite again, 7 methods to remember. Can you follow me? Page number 2, number 9. There are 7 methods given by the Buddha to overcome drowsiness: changing the objects, pondering discourses, reciting Dhamma, pulling the ears, watching the face, contemplating on light, walking back and forth. These are the 7 methods given by the Buddha to overcome drowsiness. So that is expounded in Pasalaya Mana Sutta, and Buddha expounded to Moggallana to overcome drowsiness. And Buddha continue, but if you cannot overcome your drowsiness in such a way, you should lie down on the right side in the lion's posture with one foot overlapping the other, mindful and clearly comprehending after determining the time to wake up. When you awaken, you should get up immediately, reflecting, I will not be intent on the pleasure of rest. I will not be intent on the pleasure of sloth, pleasures of sleep. Moggallana, it is in this way that you should train yourself. Even then, if you cannot overcome drowsiness, the last time you should now to do is to recline for a while. This is not the method of overcoming the drowsiness, but the method of yielding to it. You are supposed to lie down on the right side, probably Because lying in this way may wake you up sooner. When you sleep, you are supposed to lie down with mindfulness and clear comprehension, sato sambasanyo, but not without sati sambasanya. So you should be mindful of all the physical behavior like reclining from sitting, arranging your hands and body and so on. Uttana sinyam manasi katva. This phrase means that before you lie down, you should set in your mind the time to rise up. So don't lie down right away without any concern, but determine before you lie down the time to rise up and resume meditation. And you should get up as soon as you are awakened without prolonging the sleep and turning from side to side. So meditators are advised to determine as follows. Na seya sukham, na pasa sukham, na meta sukha anuyoda viharisami. I will not be intent on the pleasure of rest. I will not be bent on the pleasures of sloth. And I will not be intent on the pleasures of sleep. It is only break time for meditation. So you are supposed to practice day and night. But when it is time to rest around midnight, Buddha allows you to lie down, but just for a limited time for your health. Here in the intensive retreat, many yogis are so energetic. Some wake up early, very early morning, 2 a.m. they wake up, very energetic. They sleep only just few hours and they really satisfy their practice, and surely the progress is very fast. So before you go to bed, you are advised to determine the time to rise up. I will wake up 2 a.m., etc. and practice right way without prolonging the sleep. So these are the 7 methods Buddha expounded to Moggallana to overcome drowsiness. So we will continue tomorrow. We have to stop our discourse for today. By practicing vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the 6 senses, by noting rising, falling, seeing, sitting, stretching, bending, seeing, hearing, continuously and meticulously, may all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future.